I get that it's very confusing. You have this whole debate about force-free, balance, this method, that method. In my opinion, over the last decade and a half, in most of that conversation, common sense has left the building. You have extremes on either side that don't talk to each other, that are way out there. You have others that try to give you a dissertation in psychology in the comment section, which is really funny because most of those are completely wrong and off the charts as well. And here at Dog Point, we're just trying to bring common sense back into training. You correct behaviors you don't like, you positively reinforce behaviors that you do like and that you do want. Corrections does not mean abuse. A correction could be a sharp no, a little tug on the leash. That doesn't have to be anything drastic, but you have to make boundaries clear to your dog. The reason why we have so many dogs in shelters and why so many people have behavioral problems with their dogs is because they have been brainwashed into not saying no. There's not a creature on earth that goes without stress at some point to learn from. Doesn't exist anywhere. And especially since the pandemic, where a lot of people became trainers overnight because they had nothing else to do, you get a lot of trouble, a lot of problems due to lack of experience. So look at our videos. The dogs that I'm working with, they're not shut down, they're not unhappy, they don't move like robots, they are happily participating in an interaction due to the relationship that was formed with the dog. I can teach you how to do this. I can guide you along the way. I hope it brings some clarity and try a different way. It doesn't have to be drastic on one side or the other. Simply applying some common sense to dog training is something that works. It has worked for millennia. I know when I was growing up, yes, some methods were a little harsher than they are today. Of course, as a society, we evolve, we get better. But one thing I need to say, in growing up, the number of dogs with behavioral problems was a fraction of what it is today. Why is that? That is the question that nobody wants to answer. That is the question that nobody wants to ask in the first place. Why are there so many dogs with behavioral problems that came up in the last 10 years? I can tell you why. Because we have forgotten to give our dogs boundaries without being harsh or abusive.